What is up, YouTube? I'm super excited for this video. I'm going to be giving you a full tutorial on ESPN Bet, which is a book I've used for a while. It's available in my home state of Virginia, as well as a bunch of other states. They've been expanding pretty quickly, and it's a great book to use. They have an attractive sign-up bonus offer. If you don't use ESPN yet, they have a bet $10, get $100 in bonus bets. That's a part of their sign-up offer. Obviously, $100 in bonus bets when you first sign up is pretty nice. You can throw that on, I don't know, maybe a touchdown score parlay for week 1 of the NFL season. But without further ado, what I really wanted to focus this video on is the benefits of using ESPN Bet specifically. Because ESPN has a big fantasy arm, you can essentially link your fantasy football team to ESPN Bet to get personalized bet recommendations. So let's get into it. So let's start out with the basics. Again, the purpose of this tutorial is to cover everything you need to know to get started with ESPN Bet. Signing up takes just a minute. You just need an email, a password, and then to verify your identity. Once you sign up, deposit $10, bet that $10, and it doesn't even matter if your first bet wins or loses. The second that bet settles as a win or a loss, you're gonna have $100 in bonus bets in your account, which is a huge plus. So if you're like me, you probably already use ESPN, you follow your favorite teams. For example, I follow the Washington Commanders. I'm from Virginia. I love all Washington sports teams, Wizards, Nationals, Capitals. So I follow all of them. So basically you just link your ESPN account, and then ESPN Bet is kind of gonna personalize their app towards the teams you follow, right? So I'm a huge Commanders fan, and what you'll notice is the Commanders games are kind of listed first on the ESPN app. So this is a huge pro of ESPN Bet relative to other sports books, is you can integrate ESPN Bet with your existing ESPN account, the teams and players you follow, for a customized experience. So ESPN Bet offers tons of different betting options. So just as an example, let's say if I go to the Commanders week 1 game, they're playing against the Giants, you can bet on money line, who's gonna win the game. You can play point spreads as well as alternate points. ESPN Bet also has every type of player prop you can imagine. You can bet on passing yards, rushing yards, which player is gonna score a touchdown, and you can also create same game parlays. So same game parlays are just parlays where all of the picks are in the same game. So for example, if I wanted to throw my $100 in bonus bets after registering for ESPN Bet on Scary Terry to have 2+ touchdowns and Malik Neighbors to have 1+ touchdown, I could do that. So on ESPN Bet, on top of just regular straight bets, player props, money lines, prop markets, you also have access to same game parlays. You can really build whatever parlay you want for a particular NFL game. So on top of a great sign-up bonus, $100 in bonus bets for free, ESPN Bet, it's super easy to use. They offer countless betting options, practically whatever you want to bet for a given NFL game. It's not just NFL, same goes for MLB. You can probably bet on it on ESPN Bet. That's a super big perk. But what's very unique to ESPN Bet and differentiates it from all other books is that it really is kind of the best integrated hub of media, fantasy, and sports betting. So what I mean by that is, first of all, you can link your ESPN account. What are your favorite teams? What are your favorite players? And ESPN Bet will prioritize and highlight specific parlays as well as plays that may appeal to you given your favorite teams and players. But what you can also do is connect your fantasy account, your fantasy football team, directly to ESPN Bet. So ESPN kind of integrates everything: sports betting, fantasy, as well as media. So all you have to do is link your fantasy football team. Here you can see one of my fantasy football teams. I have Gibbs, I have Williams, and as you can see on ESPN Bet, they are going to customize and personally recommend specific bets based on my fantasy team. So if I want to tail or I want to fade, bet against players on my fantasy football team, I can do that. So that's super nice, especially for most sports bettors who obviously want to follow along with their fantasy football team, but also maybe you want some additional sweats or bets on a week-to-week basis, like parlays. So in this ESPN Bet tutorial, we've covered how easy it is to register. I mean, you can sign up, deposit money, and get to sports betting within just a couple minutes. We've also discussed their sign-up bonus offer. Bet $10 and then you get $100 in bonus bets, which is awesome. It's a huge incentive for signing up for ESPN Bet. And then we focused on what makes this sportsbook unique. And it really is that ESPN Bet, just from being ESPN, is ultimately kind of a hub of media, fantasy, and sports betting. You can link your ESPN account, you can link your fantasy football team for customized recommended parlays, bets on your favorite players, favorite teams, players on your fantasy football team. So ESPN kind of integrates all of this into one app, which is awesome. So here you can see my ESPN account, and FanCenter is super easy to navigate to. It's right at the top. So what you can do is just click into it. And again, it's going to give me personalized bet recommendations. So for example, my team, the Washington Commanders, it's recommending parlays, stuff like that for the game. And then what I can do is I can navigate over to fantasy. Here you can see my fantasy football team. Williams is my first running back, and this is also the first football game of the NFL season, Thursday Night Football, Cowboys versus Eagles. And you can see it's recommending bets for players on my fantasy team. I have Kyler Murray as my quarterback, so it's recommending plays. This is what my ESPN Bet account looks like for my fantasy team, as well as the teams that I follow on ESPN, like the Washington Commanders. ESPN Bet also runs a bunch of good daily promos. I recommend checking out their odds boost section of the app every single day. I look through these and I look for good plays. This is basically where they improve the odds of a specific bet. So as an example, this play is currently boosted to plus 125. I really like it. I locked it in for tonight. Dylan Cease, Hunter Brown, and Boyd all to get a strikeout in the first inning is being boosted to plus 125. So a lot of times there's really good value in the odds boost section of the app. So just kind of following along with the daily promos on ESPN Bet can be super valuable too. Obviously, during NFL season, the boosts and the promos are going to be different than during MLB season. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video, this tutorial on ESPN Bet. We really covered everything, some of the pros of ESPN Bet, their FanCenter, which is obviously unique to ESPN, as well as just all the countless betting options on ESPN, from odds boost to alternate spreads. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment any other questions below on ESPN Bet, and thanks so much for your time.